Hello everyone at YouTube. Um, Today I'm just going to be playing chess and talking. Um, Reason I'm playing chess is because as of recently I have a fun new update in which I got an affiliate code with the folks at chess.com. So now um, I'm just kind of playing to hopefully get some more people to click on my link and such and be able to, um, put people on to chess. Now, you might notice that I don't, I still have the free trial for chess.com and uh, do not actually have Chess Premium, which is essentially what my affiliate code is all about. It'll be in the description. Um, and my explanation for that is that I'm poor. I'm poor. And I'll get it when I have um, extra money to be able to use, but I am still trying to put y'all on because I genuinely do like chess and I like other tabletops, so I'm going to advocate for them as much as I can. Now that we have business out of the way, um, I will say that I'm probably going to talk about some of the shows that I've watched a lot in upcoming videos because I went on a stint where I just like binged a couple shows. Um, which is pretty cool. Um, okay. So like I've watched. I think in recent I've binged completely. Um, the Midnight Gospel, the one that's about Duncan Trussell's podcast, and I also binge watched in a single day. Um, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and those are probably two of the most profound shows that I've ever seen. Um, well, Cyberpunk Edgerunners is just a really good story. It didn't really show me anything profound necessarily, but still a very good show, and it had me staring at my wall for like 10 minutes because I was sad about it. There will be spoilers ahead, um, specifically for Cyberpunk, because there's not a lot of stories for the Midnight Gospel, spoilers for the Midnight Gospel, because it's a pretty non-nuanced show. Um, so yeah, that's about it really. I think I take there. I guess not. I can take there. And then he takes a queen, but that means I can take here, and then we can queen trade if he likes, because I'm still up material. Yeah. I've also decided that I'm going to start my road to 1,000 because, as you can see, I'm kind of in the 400 range here. Um, so I'm trying to break 1,000, and that's gonna be every chess video I upload is just gonna be like my goal of that. I'll just be playing 10-minute games and working to break ELO 1,000. Oh damn. Well, that's not very fun. That's not a good idea. I mean, I could probably go here. You can't. There. Can't go here. You can go here. And then like any of those. So I mean, I guess we should do that. And then I'll probably develop my bishop. My other bishop, that is. Anyways, so about Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It's a very good show. And there will be spoilers because I do want to talk about some of the things that I've like given some thought to since I finished the show. Um, it is a very very high quality show, and the one thing that I really want to talk about is like how David Martinez, the main character, um, low key, low key hides his emotions throughout the story, and by that I mean he specifically just kind of like um, tells people stuff that isn't true in the name of um, trying to make sure that they get what they want. By that I mean like I think he throughout the story. So cyberpsychosis is something where someone who adds too many um, modification, like electrical modifications to their body, um, is like they go crazy from that, especially from like not having the medication that makes that better. Um, so I think throughout the story, David is actually terrified of becoming cyberpsychotic, and this is evidenced in the part where he's I don't know talking to that one pimp guy, um, who pushes the the Gooner tapes, um, and he is put on to that one version of it where it's like um, he's put into the simulation thing where he is a cyber psychotic and he's like from the perspective of someone who is going through cyber psychosis. Um, oh, that's just a free pawn for that person. Damn. Whatever. He's like from the perspective of someone who's suffering with cyber psychosis. Um, and he is inherently, which very reasonably so, very scared about it. Um, but the thing is, in the beginning of the show, like the very first episode, there's a scene that depicts a man who is cyberpsychotic and is very clearly going through the symptoms of cyberpsychosis. I think that's where his mother gets the sand of Vestine or whatever. Um, and I think he's in that simulation from the perspective of the guy that had the Max Tech called on him. And he thought that was great. He loved the simulation of being in someone's body as they're experiencing cyberpsychosis. So as you can tell, like I think the way he changes throughout the story, and especially the way he changes in his expression of emotions, is like in the beginning of the story, he is very he does not take like cybernetics and stuff like that seriously. Maybe because he's poor and like he just thinks he's never gonna get um like cybernetics or anything like that. But I mean, neither here nor there. Um, but like he actually has fun and like pushes the heck out of those, and like people talk about in the story about how he sells the things of people going cyberpsychotic, and now he's against it with his whole being because he knows that he's actually in real life danger of going cyberpsychotic. Um, which I think is very interesting. I really like the way that they subtly added that in, even though it's like something that the viewer has to figure out on their own. Um, I will also say that that's one of the main things that I wanted to talk about because like um, he becomes very afraid of cyberpsychosis, um, and like you can tell, obviously, as I just said, but he also eventually stops caring, which I think then starts to get into the whole idea with Adam Smasher. Adam Smasher, I feel like, is on the same side of, not on the same side, different, the opposite side of the same coin that David eventually finds himself on. Um, because Adam Smasher eventually um, gets to a point where he is damn near entirely cybernetics, um, which is pretty pretty brazy if you think about that. I think like there might just be brain in there, and like maybe even no brain. Maybe he's all computer. Maybe his whole consciousness was uploaded to the ether, and now he gets to be a contractor for Arasaka and beats the hell out of people for a living. Um, but the um, the parallels between Adam Smasher and freaking David Martinez is, like I said, they're on the same, like on different sides of the same coin, um, which makes them very. They kind of have a mental like clash with each other in a way, um, where they talk about fucking like you got a brain in there. One might think I'm special. I'm also special, and the thing about Adam Smasher that I think that I kind of realized, especially with his interactions in the last episode of the show, because no one really talks about him. They talk about him like he's the boogeyman, quite literally. They mention that he is the boogeyman for like the whole show until we meet him, and obviously people have played the game, have met him and killed him and everything like that. But this is a prequel to the game. Um, we meet him, and he is very calm, cool, collected. He's extremely knowledgeable in everything that he does. Um, he knows what he's talking about, and just overall, um, just kind of understands um, what it is he has to do and how he is. Whereas David is kind of on the same boat a little bit, except essentially what I'm trying to say is they both gave up their humanity, but for different reasons, using their humanity mainly as a means to an end. Um, which is kind of a crazy like plot point in my humble opinion, because to Adam Smasher, um, his humanity was mostly a like based on the vibes at least that I get from like Adam Smasher as a character. He is never using his cybernetics as like a way for him to feel better about himself or as a way to get ahead. He was never addicted to cybernetics. He was only using cybernetics as a means to an end to get power. Um, the analogy that I'd use for this is like if he was a Navy SEAL, he would have become like the best Navy SEAL in the world. Like he would have been the guy to kill Bin Laden. Um, and you notice he doesn't have friends. He doesn't have um, oh, they disconnected. Interesting. And I just pulled myself ahead too. No, he doesn't have friends. He doesn't have um, like family. He doesn't have things that make him quote unquote human, as it were. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the things that give him humanity. Whereas David, if you look at David, he has people that he cares for and cares for him, and he still gives up his humanity in terms of being a metal, as he puts it. Hey, um, in favor of being metal, as he puts it, um, so that he can be like I don't know, successful, I guess, for the people. You know, he that he cares about and cares for him. He wants um, inherently to provide because I'd be willing to bet he has been lost his whole life when it comes to having a purpose and everything like that. Oh, this person has premium. Yeah, be like these people. Be like these people. Have premium. With my link, it'll be in the description. Oh yeah, David. He's lost. He doesn't have like a crazy purpose in life. He doesn't like have a specific thing he wants to do, but he has other people's things that he cares about. He cares about the people around him, um, and he eventually, as I said before, uses his own humanity as a means to an end to achieve that for the people he cares for. Um, which I think is a very cool like motive because you can see like the motives behind all the characters and why they do the things that they do. You know that like the analogy that I used earlier was like, like Adam Smasher would have been the one to kill Bin Laden because he is a man who gives up his power, his humanity in term like in favor of power and skill and like everything on those lines, um, for the sole purpose of allowing himself um, the ability to. I mean, should I go here? Probably a good idea. For the sole power, the ability to like be good at what he does and make money and power and yada yada yada. Whereas David, um, you know, Adam Smasher looks at it from a top-down perspective. David is coming at it from a bottom-up, meaning that he is using this, sacrificing everything that he has, and doing all of this stuff for the sole purpose of providing for the people that he cares for. And I think that's very, very valuable. Very valuable character trait, and it's alluded to in the beginning of the series when Lucy's like, "Oh yeah, you're the kind of guy that runs into the fire and knows that he's gonna get burned," and um, yada yada yada, so that you can help your friends and stuff like that. Um, I just take that, right, because he either takes with Queen, which then gets rid of some of that validity. Well, I mean, or takes with King. I think I'm gonna take. Do I take here? Do I just bishop trade to death? Yeah, I'll do it. Whereas David, he needs power. He needs all this stuff so that he can provide for himself, and that eventually sends him into cyberpsychosis because even though he talks about frick, he's so focused on trying to maintain some semblance of humanity so that he can help the people that he cares for, um, which is eventually what makes him, either obviously go into cyberpsychosis and um, lose his shit at the end of the show, and everything like that. He was already screwed when he started hallucinating guns coming out of people's heads because the pimp that he talked to screwed him over and made sure that he knew he wasn't special. It really planted that seed in him, And that's another thing that I think is crazy that I literally just realized in this recording. Yeah, no, there's really no way I could have done this. Is like, okay, thanks. Oh, I mean, yeah, that's another thing that's crazy is that like he really wasn't as special as he thought he was, even though he could have been if he let go of his humanity like Adam Smasher did. Why did I move my bishop there? I really just be clicking, don't I? Yes, whatever. Oh, hello. I'm gonna trade queens because I think that's funny. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move here. No. So yeah, what was it? Oh yeah. David wasn't that special, and the reason is, um, what I was talking about earlier. David's humanity, um, was shot from the start. It was screwed over through like I don't know, just like trauma and stuff. He definitely wasn't having a good time for most of his life. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that for free. Um, He really wasn't having fun. Um, um, and like he was just holding on to that humanity, which eventually, cyber psychosis. You see it a lot in everyone else who has these like human connections and isn't fully committed as much as they think that they are to like cybernetics and like this whole like idea of violence and everything like that. Um, and it ends up screwing them over in the end. Every single instance where people think that they can handle it, they have not been able to handle it, which is extremely interesting. Maine had the Dorio, his girlfriend, his wife or whatever, and she was there for him going insane. Same with Lucy for David. Um, Obviously, there were those other people around who were just kind of like um, obviously there were those other people around, like the one guy at the very beginning of the show who had to have Max Tack called on him. Um, the one guy at the very beginning of the show who had to have Max Tack called on him. There was the guy who was pissing in the barrel and making 3-point shots, who shot jacking off man. Um, there was like they were all people who I think were just like already homeless. But I feel like there could be a point to be made that may chance they were trying to rely on cybernetics. Oh, I just lost my bishop. Maybe he doesn't frick. Alright, it's fine. Maybe like there's something to be said that like there is potential that they were relying on cybernetics in the same way that someone who has a gambling addiction relies on gambling. Oh, man, I don't want to lose castling. All right, whatever. Much like someone might rely on gambling, a gambling addict might rely on gambling to pull themselves out of the hole. You know, more and more cybernetics makes you more and more deadly, which makes you better and better at uh, making money. Because we all know Night City is all about violence. Very big violence people. Very big. Their whole culture is being violent. Um, so there was clear reliance on um, cybernetics by everybody. And when people rely on cybernetics to enhance their humanity or make them seem more valuable to society or what have you, um, it clearly affects them. Adam Smasher is the one exception. When Adam Smasher says that he's special, it's a quite literal, like, yes, he is special. Not because he's able to handle it more. He doesn't need immunosuppressants because he doesn't have an immune system. He removed his immune system from the equation. You can't deny what is it called? Your immune system can't reject. Your immune system can't reject new organs if there is no immune system. But Adam Smasher is the exception, not because he freaking I don't know can handle it, like I said earlier. It's because he. Are we really gonna draw right now? No, we're not gonna draw. I just made a bad move. Anyways, because he was willing to go that extra mile and freaking um, give up his humanity. You know, it's a whole ordeal. Uh, he Adam Smasher is the guy that throws himself into battle just because, um, for the sole purpose of, I don't know, killing, winning, um, being that guy. what have you. I go here, he goes there, and I'm still down pieces. Okay, I'm kind of doo-doo farted. We'll do that. Um, as long as that pawns off of his knight, because then I can still do that little chain of attacks. Adam Smasher is the exception because of his willingness to do what needs to be done in order to get that edge up on people. You know, that's why when he was first introduced and everyone was like, and he was like, yeah, it's child's play, and he relies on anti-gravity to to win or whatever, to keep him on his feet. Um, it's because boy knew what the hell he was talking about. I guess I'll trade that. Not much else of a choice here. Um, because he's knowledgeable, he did his research, not because he likes cybernetics, but because he actually cares about being good at his craft. I don't know. It's just stuff that I feel like um, went unnoticed, or it was nuanced. Um, it's like he figured out how to make himself handle it. It's like he's damn near fully cybernetic. Um, which obviously he he needs to be. I don't know. I like the show a lot, and I think it's a very, very cool and interesting show and way of going about it, and I love the adaptation. It's good all around, in my humble opinion. Um, I'm so dumb. Here you go. Just made sure that I didn't have to lose my knight. Actually, I still lose my knight. If he... Nope, he doesn't do it. Wow. 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 Oh, he wants my rook, though. I feel like I resign here, but I'm going to keep playing because I want to see if I can make him make a mistake. I don't know, I guess I'll go there. Oh, he's not supported anymore, that bishop. So if he takes, I can just take back. It's a trade, I guess. It's not a loss of a piece, so I'll take it. No, you can also tell the differences between Adam Smasher and David, as well as their similarities, especially in the what is that? The ending fight. That's what it's called. The fight at the end of the show, when the sad song starts playing and everyone starts crying. Um, when David and Adam Smasher trade the "Are you distracted right now? Really, man?" When they trade that line, um, you can see that because when David sees the trauma squad, I think, and starts fucking screaming because he's in cyber psychosis and then gets shot in the stomach, and Adam Smasher's like, "You can't afford to be distracted right now, little bro." What? Did he intentionally give me a bishop? Was that on purpose? Okay. Um, you can't afford to be distracted right now, little bro. And he gets shot in the stomach. Um, and then they actually start fighting because David's infatuated with funky, funky netrunner lady. Um, wait, do I sacrifice the knight No, because he's not going to take with Bishop. He's going to take. Never mind. Because he's infatuated with funky Netrunner lady. Oh, I can't do. Why can't I do that? Oh, it's night. Okay. He's infatuated with the funky Cybernet lady. Um, and then later on, when Adam is distracted by funky Cybernet lady, Lucy, because she's trying to hack into his cranium. Um, what am I saying? You can tell that like David was loving the idea of saying that line where he's like, "Distracted much, jerkwad." Um, man, I just lose my night here unless I go here. Maybe we trade material and then I get a free night. The distracted much thing, but except David is unskilled and a nene baby in this scene. If he actually had his head and wasn't going mentally insane, um, because of his addiction to putting electronics in his lungs, um, then he probably would have had a better head and been able to actually figure out like the smarter play here. I just have 0 moves. The other difference is um, David has 0 experience, and Adam Smasher loves having experience. He's an experience maxer, if you will. Um, so David, so like Adam Smasher at the beginning of his LeBron-esque career versus David right now probably would have been a way more even fight. Like unironically, just would have been way crazier because David just got this crazy new experimental tech, and Adam Smasher has a prefrontal cortex. So like, oh, he just takes that pawn, but now his knight is away from everything ever. So yeah, I'm having fun. We up. Um, I think I just. Oh, I know I don't do that. Maybe I do this, and then I get a rook out of the exchange. And then if he doesn't take, I can go here, threatening the rook. So he goes here, I go there, I go there, and he's still up 3. And then, oh wait, I can go here, and then I get a piece either way. Yeah, let's do it. Oh yeah, experience. David is still a kid, even though we have like a time skip at some point where he now has way more electronics in his body after Maine died. Um, I I think I still get a free rook here, and I get Adam Smasher experience maxing. He just has more experience. I bet you, especially at that end part where Adam Smasher's like offering him a way out, like I guarantee you, he could have been like, yeah. Adam Smasher was literally being like, yeah. So the reason I'm so good at this is because I don't have an immune system. You won't need medication, or maybe he was too far gone. I don't know. But Adam Smasher was literally like, yeah, you could be real good at this, and David was like, nah. And I guarantee you, not guarantee you, I'd be willing to bet like at least 30 cents on the idea that like Adam saw himself in David. Am I gonna win on time right now? Hey, let's go. I didn't deserve that win, but I definitely got it. Adam Smasher saw himself in David, which is why he was offering David a potential way out. Sorry, big stretch. um, and David was like, "Nah, I don't really care that much. I'm not addicted to the love of the game like you are." And Adam Smasher was like, "Yeah, I can respect that, low key," and then shot him in the head, because he gets paid to do that. Um, because I think Adam Smasher knew that David damn near surpassed him. I think David would have been able to beat everybody else in all of Night City except Adam Smasher. I think he was number two spot. And it was close in terms of David being farther from everybody else than he was from Adam, because Adam Smasher was just like that, until V comes along, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. When I listen back on this, I'll probably think that I'm a crazy man rambling about random garbage, but I think I'm gonna end it out here. I hope I was coherent. I hope you guys consider. So I already said goodbye. I'm gonna end it off here. I hope that you guys or whoever watches this considers clicking on the link in the description and seeing what Chess Premium has to offer. It's a great way to support me. If you don't want to do that, which is fair, I don't blame you for not wanting to do that. If you like my videos, you like my content, consider coming back. And are considering coming back, maybe hit the subscribe button and leave me a like, because then I can expand even further and get even gooder at making videos. Um, um, and yeah, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and just overall have a good one, friends.